When my wife and I met, she learned pretty quickly that I am a very sarcastic person. She isn't. She didn't grow up that way. I grew up playing baseball from the time I was a wee little 5-year-old all the way up until I was 17 and joined the Navy. So we use sarcasm on our sports teams to learn how to get along, to kind of relate and bond with one another. Once I joined the Navy, I had to take my sarcasm to a new level. At the time, I thought it was just to survive, but it was a way to bond with them at a different level. Since then, my wife and I have a running joke where she is enrolled in the Sommerkamp School of Sarcasm, and she practices it a lot on me, which I actually really love. One day, she prepared this funny little joke. I did not know it was coming and kind of delivered it to me, this bit of sarcasm, and it really stung. She could immediately see it on my face too. And then she asked me something so profound, it has stuck with me all these many years later. She asked, was I a little too close to the truth on that one? Whoa, isn't that deep? What I want to address in this video is sarcasm in the workplace. Does it fit? Is it rude? Does it have any kind of place? Can we use it to bond with others and deepen a relationship? Or is it completely out of place? Keep watching to find out. Hi, my name is Shawn Sommerkamp, and this is Motivationeer Christian Coaching. I post 2 videos a week, so please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can be reminded when I do. Please also consider becoming a member at Motivationeer.com. Your membership really supports this channel. Thank you. I discovered a very interesting fact about sarcasm that I want to share with you. It actually originates from the Greek word sarx, S-A-R-X. That's the word, for all of you New Testament scholars out there, for flesh in the New Testament. Like it says in Romans chapter 8, verse 4, do not walk according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. For years, the NIV translated that one word, sarx, as sinful nature. In the latest revision, I think it's 2011 maybe, there might be a later one than that, the NIV has kind of reverted back to putting flesh everywhere the word sarx appears. That sinful nature phrase, they actually kept it for only 2 verses. But the word sarx appears in the New Testament over 120 times. And it's from this word that the Greek word sarcasmos, which we get the word sarcasm, appears. Now that word sarcasmos is not in the New Testament, but it literally means a tearing of the flesh. And when you think about my wife's profound question, you kind of get the correlation. When we come too close to the truth, it does hurt like a tearing of the flesh, which is the intention for creating that word sarcasmos in the first place. This is how we arrived at the modern day definition of sarcasm, which is defined as the use of irony to mock or convey contempt. Still a tearing of the flesh. That still fits. I think we see elements of this in the verse that all Christians think about when addressing this idea of whether sarcasm is okay or not. That's in Proverbs chapter 26, verses 18 through 19. Which says this, like a madman who throws firebrands, arrows, or death is the man who deceives his neighbor and says, I was only joking. In its original meaning, sarcasm is meant to sting by not directly addressing the issue, but using mockery instead. Oscar Wilde said way back in the late 1800s, sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, but the highest form of intelligence. So if this is the way that we use sarcasm today to subtly mock or show contempt for a person at work or an idea of work, I recommend as Christians we don't do this. Obviously, Jesus did not teach us to mock other people, and it's not going to bode well for our career, and it certainly won't glorify Christ. I really do wish, however, that someday they would update, make more current this definition of sarcasm to include a form of it that is used to endear other people. That definition might say the use of irony to communicate wit and humor in a thought-provoking way as an attempt to endear oneself to another. That is how I use sarcasm, but as my wife's question suggested, there are times that I use sarcasm, as she did in her case with me, where I unintentionally get a little too close to reality, and it leaves the person stinging. The truth is, this is exactly how Jesus and Paul used sarcasm to expose the ugly truth about religions using a cutting way of communicating to them. I'm not going to go into that. I'll save that for you to do the research on. It's very interesting, for me, fun, and easy to find research. Just put into Google sarcasm and the New Testament, and you'll see what I mean. So does sarcasm have a place in the work environment, in our career progression? Well, I did a video not too long ago called It's Possible to Ask Too Many Questions. And in that video, I explored how in my earlier years in my career, I would ask way too many questions as a way to cover up my own insecurity, as a way to kind of bridge the gap between what I was missing in skill or knowledge, because I was fearful. This is the same way sarcasm can sometimes be used, and it makes us really go off the rails when we use sarcasm to cover up a fearful insecurity. It's never going to come across well when we have that fear inside and we communicate words, right? Ecclesiastes 10:20. So forget about using sarcasm and just relegate yourself to a boring and seasonless existence in career drudgery. Of course not, I'm being sarcastic, exactly like my t-shirt says. We want to use sarcasm. I'm recommending it. I do. If you're not great at it, don't start practicing at work. Practice on some friends. But it can be a wonderful way to relate to other people. The only thing is, we want to be good about realizing the right time to use it. There are lots of wrong times to use it. That means be sure you know how it will land before attempting it. Now, truth be told, I'm still practicing this. I'm in the practice of sarcasm and I'm getting way and way better at it, but I'm always trying to look for making sure I don't offend somebody who probably isn't going to receive it very well. Often I do this by kind of listening for those who are already being sarcastic in their way of communicating with others or me, and then I know it's okay to use it. I love sarcasm. And I also show people love by using sarcasm. And my closest friends and I use sarcasm with each other to show love. In fact, if you've ever heard of the book, The 5 Love Languages, I believe there's a 6th, it's sarcasm, and I do plan on writing that book. That is not sarcastic. So, what if you don't appreciate sarcasm or someone using it directly with you or around you a lot at work? Well, I recommend going directly to that person and having a talk with them. This is the Matthew 18 principle. And we do it from a very humble perspective. We might go to them and say, hey, I can appreciate how you relate with other people so well, even when you use sarcasm. I do want to let you know, though, sarcasm doesn't work so well with me. So is it possible to cut back on it when we're in a conversation? I think this could come across really endearing. Just by doing this, you can have a sarcastic person relate to you more directly. And if you are the person that uses sarcasm and someone comes and asks you that, be very open to immediately thanking them for letting you know, because we're just trying to relate, and that's not the way they want to relate. Most of what we find funny today in movies, in the comedic movies, rom-coms, our comedians that we watch, and the endless YouTube little short videos we watch is filled with ironic sarcasm. It is something we all tend to find funny. As Christians, however, when we use it, let's do so to bring ourselves into a deeper relationship with another person, to relate with them even more on an intellectual level. The more advanced your sarcasm gets, and my wife is in the upper level classes now, the more wit it requires to kind of understand it, to have fun with it, to be caught off guard by it, and to enjoy it. But we don't want to use it as a way to get nervous attention, certainly not as a way to mock someone else, to express some type of contempt for them. That is deception. We're not being direct with them. That's the deception captured in Proverbs chapter 26. Let's instead be mindful of how we use it for the sake of the relationship, and always be ready to kind of pull back on it if it's not working well for someone else. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for 2 new videos each week. Tell me in the comments below about your career situation, and I'll make a video for you with a shout out. You can also become a member at Motivationeer.com. Your career is not just a way to make a living, it's a way to transform the world.